Water board meeting for the month of January 2017, if we'll do the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just so everybody knows, Commissioner Andrew and Commissioner Kalani are joining us tonight on the phone. So we'll be doing a roll call vote for all the votes. That way everybody knows what's going on. Yeah, good. Okay, move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Yeah, got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Public comment? Do we have anybody signing up? No, good, thanks. Action items. Item 1, board vacancy. I move that the board approve, I move that the board appoint William Blanis to fill the remainder of the term of position number 4 that ends on June 30, 2017 for the Clackamas River Water Board of Commissioners and administer the oath of office.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes unanimous.
Okay. Bill, could we get you to come up, please?
You didn't have to do a speech or anything.
Don't do that to me.
Okay.
So at this point, we'll just, for the audience's benefit, we will administer the oath of office, and so Karen will do that. Then once the oath of office is completed, we'll take a moment to do some real quick paperwork so that we can make it really, really official. And then, so we'll have a very brief interlude there, and then Mr. Blanis will join the board as a commissioner. So I'll let you.
So what I'm gonna have him do is read it. He's got the oath right there. He's gonna read it, and then we will do the signature and notary.
Okay. I, William Blanis, do hereby swear to faithfully discharge the duties of Commissioner of Clackamas River Water, a water district under Oregon Revised Statutes, Chapter 264, according to the Constitution of the United States of America and the State of Oregon, and to the laws of the State of Oregon, to the best of my ability during the term of my office to which I am appointed.
Wonderful. I will actually have you sign that oath.
Set my life
We
away.
put it in blood. Don't worry, we don't take it.
Congratulations from Naomi.
Thank you.
Todd, is the resolution number for the next item correct? 05 or 06?
For the budget officer.
Item 2, resolutions at 05.
05, yes.
Okay, so that's right.
Mhm.
That's all I have. Thank you very much.
All right.
You're official.
So you're official, if you would please.
Okay.
Join Commissioner McNeil and Commissioner Soa at the desk there. We'll give you the temporary nameplate.
Nicely done, thank you.
I did order, no?
No pictures?
You'll have the real one. We'll do the, it's like a wedding.
No pictures?
We'll do the photos afterwards. And if you need to adjust your chair, it looks like we gave you the low chair. So, I haven't heard them doing the judge before, so, I mean, the district chair, so. All right, so
Okay.
now we're good. We're
Yeah, moving
official.
right along.
We have 5 commissioners
That's it.
in place now.
We have more than a quorum here. So agenda item number 2, resolution 05-2017, appointing a budget officer. I move that the Clackamas River Water Board adopt resolution number 05-2017, appointing Carol Bright, Chief Financial Officer, as the Clackamas River Water Budget Officer for the biennial budget of 2017-2019. Second?
Second.
Yeah, got one. Pick one. There you go. Thanks, guys. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Passes.
That made it easy. There you go.
Okay, we'll run up agenda item number.
lady.
What's that?
I know she's had it. Now official.
That's official.
Action item number 3, resolution 06-2017, to appoint a registered agent for the district. Do you have anything you want to say before we?
So no, this is just, this is in
Formality.
conformance with the board policy where the district's legal counsel serves as the registered agent for the district. And so we're just implementing that by resolution, given the fact that you hired Bob Sterringer to bring along to serve as your legal counsel, so.
Okay, so I move the Clackamas River Water Board approve resolution 06-2017, appointing Robert Sterringer with the law firm Harang, Long, Gary Rudnick as registered agent for the district.
Second.
Thank you. Comment? Anybody? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes. Action item number 4, approve budget calendar for budget BN 2017-2019. I move to acknowledge the proposed budget calendar as agreed upon for the BN 2017-2019 budget. Second?
Second.
Thank you.
So do you want to note anything on the calendar? Are there some things we'll start working on?
Just wanted to bring to the board's attention that we will be appointing budget committee members at the February meeting. We do have 3 openings on the budget committee currently, and we do have 3 applications right now, so we're in good shape. And we do have scheduled the meetings on Thursdays, and we will get the budget out to the budget committee, including the board members, about a week ahead of time. So we have a meeting scheduled for April 20th is the proposed meeting, and then a second meeting on the 27th and a third one on May 4th if they're needed. Those are the 3 that we will publish all at once in the newspaper, but when the budget is approved by the budget committee, then we can cancel any meetings that we do not use. And also wanted to bring to the board's attention, I believe it was in the packet, and we will share this information with the budget committee members when they are all in place. Every year, the state does a budget training, and that will be available at Clackamas Community College on February 21st. I believe the board members and Bill, you may have been there at one of the meetings. And as a special district, they do spend a lot of time talking about taxes, which we don't levy any taxes, so there's some stuff that doesn't really pertain to what we do, but just wanted to make everyone aware of the fact that that training is available if anybody would like to take advantage of it. It's free, and you don't even have to register, you just show up at the community college on that day. So just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of that.
So I have a question. When do we appoint the new budget members?
We will bring those names to the board at the February meeting.
February. Very good. Okay. Good. All in favor?
Aye.
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 No.
No. 4-1. Consent agenda. Move to approve the consent agenda. second?
Second.
Yeah, got it. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Todd, you're up.
All right. Thank you, Commissioners. Happy New Year. Good to see you, and thank you for your indulgence during the weather events that we've been having. I'll talk a little bit about that as part of my report this evening, but appreciate your patience as we had to shift the timing of this meeting as well. You have included as agenda item 6 the management report that has a variety of information. However, I have a number of other things I want to add that have transpired since that report that I want to bring to your attention. But first, some highlights as it relates to the management report. One deals with the Regional Water Providers Consortium. It started the new year, and so that triggers a number of different budget processes. We will talk about ours. Regional Water Providers Consortium goes through that process as well, so they'll be working on the budget. We have a chance from a staff perspective to provide some input on that, and that will be presented to the Regional Water Providers Consortium board meeting in February. I will note that Commissioner Anger is planning to represent CRW at the Regional Water Providers Consortium board for that February meeting. The other thing to note is that the Regional Water Providers Consortium has also been working on an interconnection study. So this is how we connect our system with the other systems in the area, especially important for emergency use and when there's water supply issues. And so we're building on some previous work that had been performed a couple of years ago. And so CRW has been providing the information to them in order to coordinate with them and figure out how we prioritize interties within the region. With respect to the Clackamas River water providers, again, a lot of budget focus on that, so I had an opportunity to meet with their staff to kind of get some additional details, since this will actually be my first budget process that I went through with the Clackamas River water providers. Moving on, just some emergency management and safety items to update you on. The communications study and gap analysis that we've talked about is well underway. We've had some initial meetings and some survey materials are out, so we're progressing there. The next item I want to bring to your attention is we've successfully secured 2 of the VHF radio license as directed by the Board of Commissioners. So we'll be working with the board and the consultants and to try to kind of devise the next steps on what we do with those licenses and how they fit into our overall communication efforts. One of the things I'll note in the general manager's report is sometimes you'll see that on the end of the summary there's a star or goal identified, and those tie back to the general manager goals. So I just want to highlight that as well. And moving on, item 3, water management conservation plan. We're required as part of our water management conservation plan to provide an update to the Oregon Water Resources Department every 5 years. We've completed that process and on the progress that we've made in the last 5 years. I think one of the interesting things that I found in that report is when you look at our water loss percentage. There was some real concern that I had looking at some of the earlier numbers. The good news is that our water loss percentage dropped a little bit this last year, below 10%, which is a good thing if you look at the entire district. So hopefully the investments in infrastructure improvements will help with that, in addition to just how we're addressing leaks and making sure that we're doing well with our system. Yes, sir.
When you updated that plan, did you continue to withdraw some of the applications that we have for water rates?
So that's the water management and conservation plan. We're just giving them kind of a progress report on what we're doing with the benchmarks. The applications that were pending before the Water Resource Department, those have been withdrawn, I believe a couple years ago.
About a year ago.
About a year ago, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I remember.
So we would do all of them?
The 2 that were pending, so that were still in that application phase. The legal counsel transition, you took kind of the final step as it relates to kind of with that process by having Bob Steringer serve as our agent. We did have an opportunity to have that transition meeting with Dean Phillips, and so we're now fully working with Bob, and Dean has retired. So, one other thing and noted in the packet is the CRW monthly report. This is something I've mentioned to the board. It's behind attachment 6, or excuse me, attachment C in your packet. This is a kind of still evolving work in process, but wanted to give you some sort of visual that can help you identify trends within the district, try to put some things in perspective, maybe identify some different, how we're doing in a variety of different areas. And so always interested in feedback, so if you want to, be happy to meet with you to kind of go through that if you have other ideas. Some things not on the list is I did want to talk a little bit about the weather. In addition to having the challenges that it's created with board meetings and what we've experienced, it's also obviously has some challenges as it relates to our system as well. And so this cold weather did create some issues with main breaks. We've had actually 6 main breaks that clustered in a short period of time, and then actually the crew just finished up work on a 7th main break here recently. So the weather has not been kind to our system, but that's very typical. I mean, if you hear reports of what's happened in Portland and other areas, these do have a tendency to focus more on the cast iron pipe, is brittle, and so fortunately most of the breaks have been items that we could repair easily with the vans and didn't have to replace the pipe. I think one of the things I wanted to call out is this is my first opportunity to kind of observe our staff in that role where there's a significant work demand, and I was very proud of how they approached that. Of course, these things always seem to happen in the middle of the night, and of course the conditions made it extremely challenging. And I think one of the things that was very helpful is our coordination with some other entities, ODOT and the county, and some of the additional assistance that we were able to get as far as helping with the de-icing issues and some of the traffic control issues, given the fact that it was just kind of a crazy period with all the snow and ice as well.
Do we reimburse the other agencies for their assistance, or is that kind of mutual aid?
That was kind of a mutual aid situation.
I was wondering how they...
We're helping them with their,
Yeah.
with their traffic issue as well. So we even called upon Don he even got recruited back into helping out with main breaks and stuff. So we were tapping all the resources, that's for sure. Also, in addition to our main breaks, I also don't want to lose sight of the fact that this has an impact on our water treatment process, and some of the ice and snow melts provide some challenges, and so now kind of the focus transitions into our water treatment plant and kind of how they are dealing with the changing water quality and as it relates to some of the snow melt and runoff. Again, just a reminder, the CRW plant is a direct filtration plant, and so that means that there's no significant sedimentation or settling that's present before the water hits the filters, and so we rely on the filters to be operated properly in order to remove those contaminants, and storm events do provide their challenges, and so with this type of a process, and so the good news is we have staff that's very experienced in doing this and has that expertise, and so far so good. Second thing I want to just point out is we did revise the agenda to remove the audit presentation from this meeting, because unfortunately when we had to reschedule this meeting, the auditor firm, both of the folks that would have presented, neither one of them could make the meeting, and so we will have them at our board meeting to present the information. However, that said, you do have a copy of our comprehensive annual financial report. That's what they will review or talk to you about the information that's contained in that report. This information is also available on our website and has bunch of information about how we've done, and I think congratulations to the finance staff for their work in this. It takes a lot of effort, and you know, frankly, what you're going to hear is a nice, clean audit letter, and so some positive comments from the auditing firm. Not to spoil their fun, but that's okay. I get to do that every once in a while. In November, you heard from our insurance agent, Jeff Griffin, about regarding our insurance renewal. We finally got the numbers from that, and I'm pleased to report that our insurance costs actually decreased this year. So it's a little over 1%. It's not a huge decrease, but it's going in the right direction, so that was good. And so that was just a follow-up from his presentation. And again, thank the staff. A lot of staff was able to work to try to figure out how can we do some certain things that help contribute to that. And I want to thank the board. I think one of the things that really helped was the fact that we were able to get the best management practices credit, which is a significant credit, and part of that is the board input into that process as well, including things like your ethics training and so on that you had a while back. As it relates to the waterfront, South Fork Water Board, we have as part of our arrangement, we have a true-up process where we true up the costs associated with delivering the water to us versus the water that we're billed for. So Carol Breck and myself had an opportunity to meet with John Collins and Maria, I'll butcher her name, I apologize, McKeven, who's the Deputy Finance Director at Oregon City, to discuss the true-up process, the formula that was used, and the fact that they didn't give it to us last year, so we wanted to talk to them a little bit about that. The good news is the true-up for the fiscal year 2015, so that's 2 years ago, is a little over $43,000, and for fiscal year 2016, that's a little over $38,000. So that almost $82,000 of funds will be kind of spread out and deducted from future monthly bills that we get from South Fork Water Board for the water we purchase in the south. We also took that opportunity. One of the general manager goals is to kind of look at that South Fork agreement and to try to clean up some things, because there's a lot of inconsistencies in how that's actually looked at, and frankly, we're working off of more of a settlement agreement as opposed to a water supply agreement. And so we took the opportunity to kind of talk a little bit about that and how that would work. And then also about rates moving forward. So we would anticipate there'll be an increase in the water rates from South Fork Water Board. And frankly, we pay about real close to what the owners of South Fork Water Board pay at this point. So. And then the last thing I just want to give you is a reminder that we will be having a work session on Monday, January 30th at 6 p.m. And I'm sure the weather will work out perfectly for that meeting. So that's what I'm betting on anyway. So that concludes my general manager report.
Any questions, anybody?
I've got a question that I was wondering if there's any program in place or being thought about to recognize our retiring attorney for his service to the district.
Good idea. We forgot to give him a certificate. We should have had a plain certificate at least.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything planned, but I'd be happy to work with you to figure out what would be appropriate and for that recognition. So
Maybe at the work session?
yeah, we can.
Okay.
All right.
Public comment? Anybody? We don't have any names, so we're done with that. Since Adam's here, I have a question about the Potter Road piece. Where are we with paving that?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, that had to have been a real booger trying to plow that for the county. I mean, that had to just been
Yeah,
impossible.
it had its challenges for sure. So we worked with the county on Potter Road, that segment, the lower segment
Yeah.
of the Butterfield project. and agreed with them that Potter Road, it was ground, it was milled,
Yeah, it was-
milled out, and they agreed that paving could be delayed until the weather was favorable. As you know, the county requires 50 degrees or better to pave.
Right, and rising, right?
Yep, so that's where we're at. We're envisioning if we get a warm up around February, like past years we have. No.
Not this year it's out.
But, that's.
We're talking May.
Yeah, so the contractors agreed to, we're kind of
Yeah.
on that holding pattern with that piece of it. I will say that the Butterfield Lane segment, something like next week, since that's a private road, we can be a little more flexible on the paving requirements there. That possibly might get paved as soon as next week with the decent weather forecast.
Those guys can suck.
So the other thing I would add is that we have notified neighbors in the area of the scheduled delays, just so they're aware.
Good,
And they have our contact information and realize that we haven't forgotten about them, but we want to make sure it's done right, and the weather's an important piece of that. So.
Correct. It's just tricky at night. There are no streetlights, none at all. And you
Yeah.
see nothing about that edge. Trying to see that is tough. And I just mostly worry about younger drivers not understanding how to navigate that. I mean, that is a lot of mill.
It's significant. It's a couple inches.
Yeah.
We can take a closer look at it. There is signage out there, rough edge signage.
It was
We can
down.
Review that with the contractor and make sure that's up and running on both ends, so.
Yeah. Good, thanks. That's all I got.
Okay.
Anybody else? Bill, you have anything? Larry? No. You? Naomi?
No, everything sounds great.
Meeting's adjourned.